Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the GoMango TokuCast. As always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
The Cinder Blaze.
And dudes, we're wearing new t-shirts. And also, we're gonna be reviewing for you episode 3 of Kamen Rider Amazons, or Amazon Riders as it's known here in the States. Alex, what did you think about this episode, Colony of Ants?
This was probably like our first not stereotypical formulaic Kamen Rider episode. I would think.
Okay.
They haven't really established like the whole team for Kamen Rider Amazons. He's still kind of like in between, just bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think towards like at the end of the episode, his quote mother is implying that he's going to be on this the same team as like the mercenaries. I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like her task force, the exterminators, whatever you would want to call them. It's all right. I wish we got this a little bit earlier, but then again, like these are like 40 episode kind of like blocks, and there's no real like depth
blocks?
Or 40-minute blocks.
They aren't. This last episode was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, but like they're trying to like write for that kind of like block, you know?
Yeah, you're right. It just feels like a bloated 24-minute episode. You know?
Yeah, like there's no like depth to the actual like villain of the week for this time. I think we kind of actually had a more like individualized, I forgot what they're called, Amazon.
Yeah.
Where like she kind of like created this whole nest of other Amazons. I don't know how she did it. I'm thinking it's something specific to her power, but
or maybe she just like collected them there. Maybe that's what the
because I feel like they're very drone-like. So I feel like she's like a queen bee, and those are like the things that she kind of like spawned or created.
Queen ant.
Yeah.
Of ants. Yeah, but like I feel like this is a very easy way, because like they said there are what, like 4,000 Amazons. This is an easy way to just clean sweep a whole bunch of them, a whole host, a whole hive, if you will, whole colony. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, there's like 50 in here, so that's progress.
Yeah. I mean, progress is progress. Like it's odd because Amazon still hasn't at the time of this recording, which is April 30th, we haven't got confirmation that season 2 is on its way or anything. So, you know, whatever happens. Because I don't know if we're actually going to get a conclusion to this sort of situation.
Yeah. And even if they do like find a cure that just like magically just mask heals everyone, I don't care. Yeah. Honestly, let's just kind of like focus on this episode.
But like, it's getting better. Like this episode was honestly better than 1 and 2.
Yeah, but like I feel like it's just a lot of wasted potential. It just a Kamen Rider series that's kind of like that has this like checklist almost. It's like okay, we've got to get 40 minutes, and we have to be adult. So you drink beer, and you gnaw at him with your mask. It's like I have no teeth. Just
like
scrape and lick.
Was that this week? Was that this week when you said that? We filmed the watch along a while ago. Did you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this one. I don't think we went on to episode 4.
Oh my god, that is my absolute favorite. Thank you for that. Oh man.
Yeah, it's such a hilarious.
I was in tears.
Yeah, please go check out our watch along for this episode. And if it wasn't episode 3, then it probably is episode 4, and we just forgot.
We didn't record episode 4 yet.
Okay.
Like I said, I do want to bring the community aspect into this, and I do kind of. We do miss a little bit. So if you commented last week, sorry we can't get to it, but next week we will be able to respond to your comments in the episode. But yeah, overall, like the episode was better, like we said, but you know, I still think there's room for this show to improve.
Yeah.
That it's just, I mean, where we sort of stand with Amazon's for the most part.
Yeah, and actually, like towards the beginning of the episode, I remember us saying that, or me saying, this could be episode 1.
Yeah. But I
And
feel like I said that about episode 2. Like,
no, I
there's
think like we both said it for episode 2. And
yeah.
just like for this one, it just felt like, I don't know.
But is that indicative of how much useless airtime they just sort of stuff into the show?
I wouldn't say like it's like useless airtime in terms of the scenes. Like every scene does have some sort of significance. Like they aren't the
Yeah.
most entertaining at times, but like they are somewhat relevant. Like even the
But
most boring of them.
they go out of their way to make them boring. If they want to accomplish something, they will choose the slowest path to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they're deliberately actually just stalling for time in some of those episodes,
Yeah.
which just makes it look worse than it already is.
Exactly. And like they could easily rearrange some of the slow parts to make it flow a little better. Because some
Yeah.
parts don't have enough time to sit and some parts have too much time. So I think it's just a misuse of their resources, and their main resource is time, and they're wasting a lot of hours if they're putting it in the wrong place.
Yeah, speaking of like their main resources, how do you feel about our writers this episode? I
Um, I don't quite remember, but Alpha was sort of in the back most of the time, right?
Yeah, he didn't do much this
Yeah.
episode.
But our regular one, I got a motorcycle. I could easily jump from building to building very quickly, but I have a motorcycle now.
Yeah, and he didn't use the motorcycle because he just, he drove it
Yeah.
for like 5 seconds and then just went up back to just
It's
jumping through the buildings.
It's odd. I kind of understand why they introduced a motorcycle, because like, oh, it's the original Amazon's thing. But also, isn't like that whole aspect of it, I get it feels like it's mostly to sell toys, but you're not selling us this toy. You know, like this whole show exists in like this weird nebulous area, because modern tokusatsu is all about selling toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's made. It, I feel like with some modern tokusatsu sensibilities, but not the toy line to back it up.
Yeah, and
'Cause it's
honestly,
too
I felt
premium.
like for this series, that kind of motorcycle just didn't have a place. Honestly, like
Mm-hmm. Like,
it
I get it.
despite
You're a
like
Kamen Rider. I get it, but
yeah,
the integration to it was not smooth.
yeah, like the way he's just like, "Oh, I got you a ride," and he's like, "Oh, okay." But I feel like at that point, it wasn't mostly because of just the bike. I think that was mostly due to was it Amazon's just not being like a main character yet.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's like my main gripe with like these first 3 episodes. And like in this episode, while it was enjoyable, like towards the end of it, it didn't feel like either of our common writers was really like the main focus of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Extermination Squad felt like a lot more, not like a main character. I guess they were more of the main characters because like everything
Yeah,
kind of revolved around them,
that's kind of
and
what I
like
was
they
thinking.
carried
Yeah.
the momentum of the show, except for that one small part where uh, Amazon just kind of goes crazy and breaks into that boardroom meeting with all the old people, and then
Yeah.
his mom
Oh
had to
my
bail him
god,
out.
that old dude. What was with that weird? I don't even want to call it like an artsy move. The dude was just being filmed and standing in front of his projections, so he had a shadow as well. What the hell was even the point of that? Is he in the other room?
It's
Why
like
didn't he just walk in?
that was probably a no, because he's probably a feeble man, and to exert that authority, he would either have to be a shadowy figure or a hologram or some sort of projection. And then someone couldn't make the decision behind the scenes, so some delegate was all like, "Por qué no los dos?"
There it
And
is.
don't know where that Mexican came from, but that was obviously like one of the stupidest things I've seen.
Yeah.
And there were points where, like, during the actual meeting, he would cancel out the PowerPoint, which was relevant and everyone was looking at, just so he could speak. And, like, this weird ass power trip that he has. It's so dumb.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's one of those things that would be fine in a kids show.
Yeah, you know? You're right. That would be absolutely hilarious. You know what? And it still was. It's still, like, I was so taken aback that this was actually happening that I laughed.
Yeah, it's for a lot of this series, you just have to like make fun of it to actually like enjoy some of the scenes, and that's not something like it's nice to have that, but for this series, it just doesn't fit.
Right, and I do kind of want to talk about our titular writer, because I feel like they're really missing one of the hallmarks of like interesting storytelling with this guy. You don't start at the beginning. You start at the interesting part and then unravel what sort of happened. We're not really at an interesting point in our main character's like journey.
Narrative.
Yeah, and like on top of that, I understand that like, oh hey, but there's these side characters, these guys are interesting. They're in the middle of, I get it. I understand that. I see. But this is called Kamen Rider Amazons, or excuse me, Amazon Riders, not the friggin' extermination squad or whatever. I want to be dropped in to the most interesting part of, you know, Amazons, and then have it all revealed to me. We just started with the most boring aspect of this guy's life. I didn't need to see his boring upbringing of being raised inside an aquarium. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't need to see the inception of this character.
Despite that honestly being like one of the turning points of his character, I feel like that is something that could easily be seen, like given to us in a flashback.
Exactly.
Him scene and his initial interactions with Alpha.
Yeah.
Like despite like that kind of being the setup for him, his like realization of like becoming the Kamen Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Despite how kind of weak it was in this episode, I feel like if we just fast forward a little bit later when something more exciting kind of kicks up and we just have both of them debut at the same time and then go back when it's like relevant for plot reasons, I would enjoy that a little bit more. But that's also contingent on how good is the actual plot, because if the actual plot doesn't have room for those types of flashbacks, then obviously you have to stick it at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's the direction that they're going with, and I've heard that this series gets better.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it has been getting better.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think like if you have all of your cards laid out on a table, you like at the beginning, you know what fat to trim first, you know.
Yeah.
But whatever, maybe. Yeah, I guess I'm just nitpicking at this point.
Yeah.
Alex, do you have anything else you wanted to say about this episode?
No, not really.
All right, cool. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching with us, or watching this episode. And if you want to watch with us, there's a watch-along link probably at the end card of this video, so check that out. And hey, also, this is part of our weekly content, so if you keep up with your weekly tokusatsu, we did that too. It's on the channel. This is a review, so you'll probably get other reviews of whatever the hell else came out this week. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
See ya.
Oof.
The morphers are called junglers. What the frick?
They're what?
The jungler.
Jungler. Jungler. No,
oh, never mind. That's probably the bike. Never mind.
Oh, why would you lie to me?
Actually, no.